Tanya, we're here to talk about your latest film, Hysteria. Now, it's a rom-com about the invention of the vibrator set in Victorian England. When a friend of yours who's a producer came to you with that idea, what was your first reaction?
I laughed. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard, and I said, I want to see that movie. And since no one had made it, I thought, I should make the movie. So that was it.
And you gave everyone a little present on set, I heard.
How'd you find out about that? Yes, I gave everyone a vibrator as a welcome gift. I just thought it was fun and jokey and whatever. And our gaffer, a very sweet guy, British guy, didn't know what they were because they were kind of multicolored. They were about this big. And he goes, oh, can I have a pink one for my daughter? And everyone was on a recce on the bus, and everyone was kind of like, wow, Brian, okay. And his friend, who was our makeup, kind of chief hair and makeup, said, do you know what that is? And he goes, I thought it was lipstick. So you can tell it was really small.
That's a great story.
Yeah,
and you've also got a great cast in the film, haven't you? The first person on board was actually Jonathan Pryce, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, you did your homework. Yeah, it was a dream cast. And it was just one of those things where we kind of wrote our top 5 for all the roles. And everyone was kind of in the, really the top. It was insane, but it took a while, and so we just kind of got the script to whomever we could get to on the list, and Jonathan was the first one who actually read it and responded, and I think it took about, I don't know, we had a coffee, no, it was drinks was important actually, for 2 hours, and one of my producers came along, and about an hour and a half into it, he looked at me and he goes, well, I think you're both mad, but sure. So, and then it just took a long time to kind of get all the finance together, as is always the case with these films. Yeah.
And he plays a doctor in the film, doesn't he? He treats women in Victorian Britain for hysteria, and he has various methods for doing this. Now, one of them resulted in Jonathan getting a bit of an injury on set, didn't he? Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, so hysteria, right, is this kind of fictitious catch-all disease. For kind of the condition of being a woman. And luckily one of the nicer treatments, I think, was massage to paroxysm, and which, actually sounds like a fun time at the doctor if it's not too seamy and sleazy. But so Jonathan, I was kind of like, how are we going to... I knew how I wanted to shoot it, because I knew what was funny was the doctors just seemed very like, oh, God, this takes forever, and I'm at work, and I'm bored, and I didn't think of it as sexual, because since it wasn't about a man's sexual pleasure, obviously no one was having any fun from their point of view. And so we were still trying to figure out the mechanics of how we were going to shoot it in terms of making sure that their body language looked right, because obviously they weren't going to be, what do you say here, touching up the actresses? I don't know if that's okay to say.
That's okay.
All right. I kind of throw all the lingo around. I don't really know what's appropriate. It sounds pretty American. And so we had to figure out something for Jonathan and Hugh to massage that wasn't an actress, but was near an actress. And so Hugh, very wisely, after a lot of really inappropriate suggestions, mostly from me, not up to him, but never mind. He just said, well, look, there's lots of sandbags holding down the lights, so we'll put that down on one of them, a very rough surface. And so Jonathan was, kind of vigorously getting into the part, and he rubbed like the skin off of the knuckles of one of his fingers, and had to get someone to come on set and do a bit of first aid and bandage up his poor raw finger.
Suffering for his art.
Exactly. Very serious. He takes it seriously.
Exactly.
And you guys aren't even method actors over here.
And you mentioned Hugh Dancy there. How did he become involved in the film?
It's funny because I had seen his film work, and then I saw him in a play that, of course, was a play that had transferred from here to New York called Journey's End, famous play, and he was so brilliant. And you would think, well, that is such a serious play, but I went, oh, when I saw that, I went, he can do anything. And it was tricky finding that kind of 30-something earnest male who's a bit clueless but still very masculine. That it was kind of you kind of knew Hugh Grant in a way, but I don't know if you would like me saying that, because Hugh's his own Hugh. But we kind of said, okay, we want that young, bright-eyed guy, and it was really interesting. There aren't a lot of actors around who could kind of do the comedy and do the really serious acting work that it takes, and so he's one of the few.
And talking about versatility and people can just do about everything, Maggie Gyllenhaal, of course, you have as one of the lead actress in this. She is fantastic, isn't she? And not only is she a great actress, but she's got a flawless British accent again in this, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's just, I mean, we said, who's the next Catherine Hepburn? God, I can't speak anymore, yeah. So we were looking around for, Catherine Hepburn. But I mean, when we were kind of coming up with it and the writers were writing it, I mean, Maggie was someone we always talked about. So it was like, win a dream date with, it was crazy. So we were very lucky on casting, and I think it's all, between the team, the design, and the cinematography and all of that, and then the acting. I mean, it made my job a lot easier.
And a young rising star in Felicity Jones as well. And you got her before, I think, like crazy, didn't you?
Yeah, it was very, very lucky. It was a tricky role to cast. There were lots of good actresses, but no one who just walked in. And when Sheridan Smith walked in, I said, okay, we're casting her. Like, I was like, do we have to see anyone else? But Felicity had been off shooting something, and so I'd seen a lot of really good actresses, because you guys seem to have like a special something, kind of magic potion you give your actors in their training, and they all turn out brilliant. But no one had found just the kind of, you kind of don't even know what you're looking for after a certain point. You just need that special something. And Gabby Kester, my casting director, is this like lovely kind of woman who's been, worked on tons and tons of great films, and this was her first one as the lead casting director, and she said, just hold off, there's someone I want you to see, and it's been tricky, and I know we're late into pre-production, but you really need to see this woman. And she walked in, and I went, oh, okay, done, and so it was good, because I think that's how you get a great cast. You don't just kind of cast someone who can kind of do the job, someone who shows you that the job is something different than what you thought, really.
And you mentioned Sheridan Smith there as well, and I believe you actually saw her in Legally Blonde, and that's when you thought, yes, I want her in this film.
Yeah, it's funny, my producer said, oh, you've got to come see this actress in Legally Blonde, the musical. And I was like, well, I like the film, and I do like musicals, but maybe it's too camp, and we were trying to not be so broad. We were trying to kind of find our way somewhere between, kind of dramatic costume drama and, seaside postcards, like somewhere kind of down the middle there. And she said, you've got to see this woman. And I went to the theater, and I was like, what? Who's that? She's, it's crazy. She's crazy talented. I really want to find something, I would love to find something for her and Felicity, like a two-hander or something really fun. But she can act, she can dance, she can sing, she can do comedy. I mean, she's beautiful. It's ridiculous. She's, I feel like I'm going to be one of those people who said, God, thank God I got to work with her when. Same with Felicity. Really same with all my cast. I just feel fortunate.
And a little role in there as well for a couple of amorous ducks. And I believe they caused a little bit of trouble getting footage of them. You've got to tell me a little bit about that.
You really did your homework. Yeah. Needless to say, ducks do not shag on command. And damn them. And it took a long time. Ultimately, there was like some Scandinavian naturalists who shot the footage we ultimately used, but I had crew members in the field on weekends. Literally, I have hard drives full of duck porn. So that'll maybe be on the DVD extras. I don't know if I don't get arrested.
And next for you, I believe you've got a big biopic coming up.
Yeah,
tell me.
I can't tell you, but it's a British pop star of yesteryear. That's it. That's all I'll say. And a really wonderful lead actress who everyone knows. But
okay, how much yesteryear or?
Before, what? Not alive now. I will say that.
Okay. Well, we'll have to talk about that another time. So loads of luck with that, and lots of luck, of course, with Hysteria, which opens in the UK this week as well. Thanks very much for speaking to us, Tanya.
Thank you very much.